I just want to get a few more people to join, and I want to hear your feedback. I want to know what issues you struggle with. I want to know what is it that you need help with. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So basically, once 6 o'clock comes, I'll start. If you're in California, I guess comment below. Let me know. If you currently suffer from any mental illness, let me know. Comment what you're dealing with, what you go through daily, weekly, whatever you're in search of. And check out my first preview video on my channel. It's of me and my brothers. You may see them in this live, you may not, because I am currently watching them. But just stay tuned for the ride, pretty much. It's going to be an interesting one. And let me know if you have any social media. I want to check out anyone that watches this, anyone that's interested in my journey. And I want to basically just check on others that are going through anything, mental illness or not. Okay. I did just kind of set this up over here, so I'm on the floor. I'm a naturally floor person. I'm so comfortable just laying on the floor, sitting on the floor. If it's clean. Okay. She just said all right, like she was gonna leave. She said she was gonna make them some chili dogs. I need to go make sure that's happening. Be right back. I can smell it. They're killing me. All right, y'all sit down. All right. So she did just leave. That was my mom. And I just created a new Instagram. I don't know why I hate Instagram. I really do. You can follow me at Vanessa Monai, just like my YouTube, and Snapchat at v.com with 3 E's. Like spell it out, period. That'll be on my profile. And what else? My hair business. Oh, yes. So I do have a video I will be posting about my hair business. And the first time I started selling hair, it was in high school, surprisingly. And it was with no money down. So stay tuned. That's an interesting video. I have a few more minutes. I really want to hear what do y'all have to say. Is anybody here? What time is it wherever you're at? I'm in California and it is 5:56. And I guess I was bored. That's why I wanted to get on live. Also been researching. That's about it. That's about it. If you wondering where I got my phone case from, I got it from Amazon. And it was like $3. I'm gonna double check that because I tell everybody it was like $3. It was for sure under 5 because when I shop now, basically like I like to see the cheapest price first. It's just a normal thing for me. And it was cheap. It came pretty fast. Why not? Why not? And it protects my phone for the most part. I mean, my screen has a screen protector on it, which I did myself, but it drops and of course the screen protector breaks. If you guys want to know how to fix phone screens, I do specialize in that. I basically like a jack of all trades, not all, but a lot. I learned from experience going through it myself and process trial and error. Okay. Okay, so we have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I was gonna put on this Halloween Town live movie. Here it is. But I don't know, I feel like that was gonna be a distraction. If you like Halloween Town, let me know. I love Halloween. I love October. I don't always dress up, but in my mind, you know, I have all these costumes I'm gonna try once I get my life together, basically. Okay. And I am taking notes just to stay on topic, basically. More recently, I've been spacing out, and not even like alone. Mostly when people are talking, it's a problem. And I guess it's a form of dissociating, which is interesting because I haven't connected that to that in a while. And we have 1 minute. Yeah, I have a text message. Isn't that interesting? What do you? Okay, I'm confused. Okay, so it is 6 o'clock, and can you hear them? They're screaming. I want to start with the verse of the day. I am a spiritual person and I believe in God, one God for us all. Doesn't matter what religion, at the end of the day, I do believe that there's one God. And so the verse of the day is, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." That is 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. And I am on the Holy Bible app. I will go into prayer now for those who are here. Thank you for joining, and I hope you learned something from this, get something from this. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for this life and this moment. Thank you for the courage of bringing me here and to this point, being able to share and be open. I just ask that you bring whoever needs to hear from me, whoever needs to get something from this message, bring them in and help them gain from this. Bless those who are listening, who are watching, who are tuning in from wherever they are. Continue to help us because we need it here on this earth. I thank you and I love you. I trust you. Amen. And so basically, I've been struggling with mental illness for well over 10 years. I'm 24. I wouldn't say well over 10 years. I'm 24 right now, and I became depressed around the age of 13. My family we suffered a loss, and it was such a strong loss for our family. Um, Basically, my cousin was killed in her home by a random drive-by shooting, and that was here in Oakland, California. After that happened, I basically went in a downhill spiral from rebellion, and hating everyone, feeling like I had no one, even though I had friends, even though I had family, feeling like I couldn't breathe. And there was a point where I hated God. I was so lost and so confused. And this isn't the first time, this isn't the last time that I've been there and I've questioned God about the things that I've gone through, the things I've seen in life. And so being at that moment, being at that low point for me, I remember having a conversation with my first pastor growing up and just saying, like, why not me? He could have left my cousin here because she was such a blessing. She touched so many people's lives throughout the 22 years she was here. And I just felt like I wasn't worthy. And so from that moment on, I did go to therapy. I did have counseling in high school. I did have resources and I did have support, but me feeling so empty, it was something that I couldn't really describe. And my only way of showing it was to act out. As a teenager, especially, it, I don't think we really take into consideration how much teenagers go through, how many different emotions and the different thoughts, the different perspectives and experience they have wherever they may be. And it's important that at a young age, you have support, period. Because if I didn't have that support back then, I don't know where I would be today. honestly. And so fast forward a few years, I am in my junior year of high school, and I started birth control. And the reason I'm mentioning my birth control is because I do feel like it plays a huge part in where I am with my mental health. Um, Basically, I got on the IUD Mirena, um, and and I slowly, not even slowly, I my emotions became unstable. And I didn't notice it at the time. My relationship suffered a lot from it, and there was a lot of damage that I did and that was done in that relationship. Um, Pretty much every relationship I've had has been unhealthy, and it wasn't until about 2016, 2017 when I realized that there was something really off. There was something wrong. I couldn't control myself. I couldn't control my body. I couldn't control my mind. And I felt paralyzed at moments. And so during that time, I was in a relationship. I've been in relationship after relationship, and I do feel like that stems from my abandonment issues. Um, So officially, I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder, along with having depression and anxiety. And more recently, I've seen they tacked on PTSD on my record or on my notes for my sessions. But bipolar disorder is strictly from my family. Basically, my grandmother, she has bipolar disorder. And because she has it, that's the first thing that they relate or stick to me. And so my father, he also has mental health issues, but I haven't really gotten the full in depth behind that because he doesn't currently get help for his issues. And so from the research I've done and from what I go through, and I'll go into that, um, I feel like I suffer from BPD. Now, if you don't know what BPD is borderline personality disorder. And it is pretty common. Surprisingly, it's pretty common. In the UK, they go by emotionally unstable disorder, and I feel like that describes it personally because I feel emotionally unstable. But there is times where I feel like I do have a borderline personality, meaning my personality can change, and it's not nothing that I really have control over. It's pretty much depends on my surroundings, how I feel in that moment, mentally, physically, if I'm taking care of myself, so on and so forth. And so the reason I feel I have BPD is basically I fit all nine of the of the criteria, and I'm gonna pull that up right now because I did not have that ready. um so yeah, I've done my research, and when I realized, I guess it was BPD because I'm very strong about that. Like, um I wouldn't say I was scared or I was angry. I was relieved because I felt like all the things I was going through were just crazy. And I felt like if I was the only person going through it, then there was something really wrong with me. And so the definition says a mental disorder characterized by unstable moods, behavior, and relationships. And where are the, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so basically, I watched this YouTube video about this girl, and it was called Living with BPD. And that was after I actually seen BPD on a few shows. It was very crazy. I was living in Texas at the time, and I was at that low point again, emotionally unstable, trying to figure out what's next for my life, where am I going, what am I meant to be doing. And um, I seen the TV show My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. When I tell you that TV show related to me so much, just from the things that I've thought about doing, the things that I've actually done, and how far I've gone, and how crazy I've been in relationships, it was really relatable. And also, are you gonna tell me I forgot my favorite movie? This is crazy. Um, there's a movie with Angelina Jolie, and I'm gonna find it because I need y'all to watch that if y'all haven't seen it. It's when she was really young. And so basically, when I was in Texas, and the reason I left was because I couldn't get health care. I couldn't go to the doctor. There was a point where I was telling my brother, like, I might be going into the hospital and I need you to know where I'm gonna be at. And if anything happens, I just need you to know where I am, okay? Because I was so suicidal. And it felt to me like it wasn't that serious. Looking at it, I can easily take myself out of my feelings and basically step back from another perspective. But it takes me being at a headspace of clarity and being able to think clearly for me to see that even though I feel a certain way, that doesn't mean that that's real. That doesn't mean that that's my reality. That's just my emotions. And so I guess that goes into having control, period. Right now, I don't have control. I am on meds, but it's only to help me sleep at this point. It's supposed to help my anxiety, which it does not. Um, so the movie is Girl Interrupted, and I honestly thought I'd seen that movie. I don't know why, but I first watched it in Texas, and it was so interesting, I can say. Um, just to see the actors, just to see how they portray different mental illnesses and what you go through. And at that time, I was so scared. I was honestly so scared. Like all my life, I've thought about whether I would end up in jail, whether I would end up dead, or whether I would end up in a mental hospital. And I ended up in a mental hospital, but it wasn't in Texas. Basically, I moved back to California to start going to the doctor because I have health insurance out here, but it's under my parents. And so because I'm 24, I can still use it. And at the time I was 23, but um, I knew I needed it as soon as possible. I hadn't been working, and usually anytime I'm not working, I get really low. I get really inside my head. And so I guess that's a normal thing. A normal thing. Work is like a distraction for most people. And it was interesting to hear from my mom. Like she feels like she loves work. She loves to just get away from the house to go to work. And I'm like, Mom, really? But I love being at home. I love being outdoors. So if I can work outdoors, then I probably love work too, you know? Um, okay, so back to me going to the hospital. I started going to therapy as soon as I got back out here, and I was first prescribed this medicine. I don't remember the name right now, but it did not help me at all. And they started me on a low dose, and then they rose it up, and I moved back in July. So by the time October came last year, this was last year, I was in the hospital, and it wasn't even, honestly, I feel like it was everything combined. Like, I was homesick when I was away from home, and in Texas, I had became homeless. I had got robbed for a deposit when I was trying to get my own apartment, and I felt so lost. I felt so empty, and I felt alone once again. And there was a moment where I just had to stop, and I just had to walk by faith, period. Like, anything I had done from that moment was only damaging to myself and to anyone else that I came across. And so I literally walked by faith, and I just said, you know what, if I'm homeless, if I end up on the streets in Texas because I can't get home, because my mom couldn't give me a ticket and I didn't have any money or wasn't working, then that's just what was meant to be for me. And after realizing that, you know, you're only in so much control over life, I guess it kind of humbles you. I often forget that moment, but I often remember that moment because that was a moment where I felt like giving up. Like, I felt like killing myself just because, like, I felt like there was nothing else for me to do. Like, how else can I do anything for myself or anyone else? How can I help anyone if I'm homeless? I really felt like that. Like, homelessness was the end of the world. And so once again, I ended up in the hospital in October, and um, it was interesting how I ended up there because I took myself to the hospital. Um, I was on the verge. I was actually coming out of another relationship, and this was I would say, the most toxic relationship I've ever had. Um, I was coming out of a relationship, but meanwhile, I was still living at his house. And I found out that he was cheating. And so in that moment, it basically broke me once again because this wasn't the first, this wasn't the second, this was the third time around with this individual. And I felt like they were being truthful. I felt like they were being honest and that they really wanted to be with me because they begged me. When I tell you, he begged me to live with him, he begged me to be with him just for him to go and break up with me, cheat and break up with me. And he made me feel like shit. And so basically, there was this one night, the night before, I had missed my brother's birthday, and that probably is what ticked it off for me. I missed my brother's birthday, and I was already emotional wreck, and I was thinking like, I need to burn this house down. I was really in a red zone, like not thinking straight. I couldn't. I felt like I needed to escape, and it was either going to be killing me or killing everyone in the house, to including my ex. And so I was honest about that when I went to the hospital. Like, I do have a history of starting fires, just as a teenager growing up, and I don't want to harm anyone. I don't want to harm myself anymore. I want to get better. I need to get better. Period. And so I went to the hospital, and it basically took a few hours. here in California, we have Kaiser. Well, I have Kaiser. There's other doctors, hospitals also, but um, I checked in probably around 3 that afternoon, and I let my brother know. He's the only person that probably like tells just stuff because I feel like he doesn't judge me, even though I know he does. But I told my brother, and I actually had him go pick up my stuff because I was living at my ex's house. And so when I went to the hospital, I caught a lift there, and I literally have packed some clothes like I might wear them. And I had no idea where I was going to end up. I had no idea where I was going to go. And I was so scared to end up at John George. There's this hospital here, which I did research on before coming back to California. And it's basically the worst hospital, worst mental hospital we have out here. It's called John George. It's understaffed and it's pretty much a mess. And so I don't know why I thought I was gonna end up there. They didn't end up taking me there, but they did end up taking me to I don't remember the name right now. This hospital in Oakland. It's called Heritage. And so they ended up taking me there in an ambulance, but it took a few hours because they had to check me in. They took me to the emergency room because I went to the psychiatric hospital. They took me to the emergency room, and then they took me in the ambulance. They had to strap me down. Um, I, what do you want? What do you want?
I'm recording.
I'm on live right now. Okay.
What is this on? Oh, YouTube.
On YouTube, yes. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
It's my first time on YouTube.
Okay. So this is Jeremiah. You'll see him more if you stay tuned. Okay, but I'm trying to tell a story, so close the door. All right. And so they called it a 5250 because it was voluntary, and um, I literally didn't get checked into the mental hospital until late at night. It was probably around 11. It was dark, and I didn't even know like it was that dark. I was sitting in the emergency room for hella hours. And so I was texting my brother, like, okay, I'm in the hospital and I'm okay. I'm probably going to be here for a few days. Can you go get my stuff from my ex's house? And so um, after that, I got checked in and it was really nice in there. I was really surprised. I wasn't sure I wasn't sure what it was gonna be like. Like I was nervous and I was very anxious, but I felt like a relief, honestly. Like I felt like I wasn't alone. I felt like everybody's here because we need help, whether it's the same mental illness or not. We're all here to get help, and I guess I was very positive about it. Um, I did have a few moments of weakness and moments of just being emotional because I got attached to people. And the amount of days that I was there, when I tell you I was literally there for a week, well, yeah, a week, 7 days. And I formed friendships with people just because we would sleep together, not in the same bed, but like we all slept there. We all got up at a certain time, ate breakfast together, went to groups, um, had free time together. It was like, why not talk to people? I mean, I'm very antisocial, but I did open up um, just to share my experience and to get feedback on what I was going through. Now, when I was in there, they did prescribe me a few different meds, and this was to see what worked, basically. From the moment I got there, I think the first thing was Zoloft, and that one did not work for me. I don't want to lie to you guys. I have to check, but I know I did end up getting prescribed Zoloft, and there were a few other ones. So some side effects I experienced because I did definitely try like 3 different meds, and I left with Zoloft, but that one didn't work, so I did end up stopping. Um, I started forgetting everything. When I tell you everything, I couldn't even remember how to spell my name. I couldn't remember my mom's phone number. That's something I know by heart. I couldn't remember basic words. My balance was off, like really off. Anytime I would get up, like literally, I almost fell on one of the other patients there, just getting up out my chair. And um, the doctors, I mean, the doctors, it wasn't really individual therapy like I thought it would be. And that was disappointing. There was some moments where I got to talk to a doctor, but it wasn't longer than 15 minutes, which isn't really a lot of talking to me. And then I did end up seeing a friend, which was really surprising for me, in the hospital from high school. It was actually a guy that I used to like. We used to talk in high school. And when I tell you he was so drugged up, he told me after he got out the hospital, he doesn't even remember seeing me there. He doesn't even remember like none of the conversations we had while we were in there. It really scared me because like I wrote about him. It kind of made me like step back and be like, wait, was he really there? Or was I just that drugged up too, where I was just imagining him? For the first day I was looking at him and I could swear it was not him. Like I was looking like, is that him? He gained a lot of weight for one, so that's why I wasn't sure. And then I didn't have my phone, so it wasn't like I could look up social media to see what it looks like now. Um, he wasn't talking either. Like he was like half in, half out, sleep most of the classes. And it was about the third day when I realized it was him because I kept saying his name, but I was like, maybe that's not him. Like I was so skeptical. I swear I see too many people that look alike. And so we ended up connecting. And when he left before me. I had a complete breakdown. Um, it was so crazy because when I got there and I noticed, well, first day when we went to eat, one of my cousins actually works at that hospital, and she's basically a cook. And I felt like that was God in that moment. I felt like so excited, like, oh my God, my family's here. And I guess the only reason I felt like that was because I didn't tell anyone really. I didn't tell anyone besides my brother. And I knew my mom would find out eventually and other people would find out, but I was still emotional. I was still angry. And when my friend left, basically, she's the one that told me to kind of pull it together because I stopped eating. Like I went to complete mental breakdown, crying my heart out. Like I felt like I lost this person forever again. And we were just friends. Like we were just talking. That's about it. Like we would just talk. Um, I stopped eating. I was just trying to sleep all day, and they kept asking me like how I was feeling. I didn't know. Basically, I thought when I go through that emotional up and down that they help you more, and they kind of don't help you more. They just give you the option to get the fuck up or to lay there. And so after having that talk with my cousin, I did start eating again. I did start participating again. And then more people left and I had another mental breakdown. And so I did end up getting out of there in a week, but I honestly felt like that was longer than they wanted to keep me there. Like they would have kept me there if I was really going through it with the up and downs, but I felt like they try to get people in and out as soon as possible, basically. And so the meds did not work. Um, I would say the groups helped, and the food could always be better, but it was what it was. Um, Anything else? Bad thing. I got sick when I left. The day when I was getting ready to leave the hospital, I got sick, and I was so upset. I was so irritated. Um, Basically, I felt like they had me there for a week because I was homeless. Like when I was living in my ex house, that was the last place for me to go. That was the last place for me to go. And so I knew that once I left the hospital, I wouldn't have anywhere to go. And I did tell them that. And they had placed me in this program, which the doctor made it seem like I could stay there until I got a place, or I could stay there until I found another place to live, basically. But that wasn't really what it was. And so I left the hospital and I went to the place, and the place was like in Vacaville, or it was somewhere like a little bit of a drive, like maybe 30-minute drive from Oakland. But I was there for less than a week. And when I went there, I felt out of place. Interesting enough. There was a kid that went there with me. I think he was like 19. And he did go to the place with me from the hospital, but he had been there before. He was comfortable there. I was uncomfortable there. And I guess that was why I felt like everyone that was there needed it more than me. I felt like I was taking up space. Like, besides me being sick, okay, so while I was there and I was sick, they would not give me meds. They would not give me anything unless it was prescribed by the doctor. And so by the time I got medicine for me being sick, I was throwing up. I was I couldn't eat. I was sweating. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt like I was dying. Like, it turned out I had pneumonia, and they were letting me suffer, and that really turned me off, besides me feeling like I didn't belong there. And I ended up taking myself to the ER because they told me I had to wait. They told me I had to wait another day, and this was already 2 days into me being sick. Okay, so I've been sick 3 days, and I'm throwing up, and y'all can't give me a ride to the ER today because I have to wait till tomorrow. That didn't make no sense to me. So after that happened, and I got some, what was it, Mucinex. I couldn't even buy that from the store. That's what was crazy. They was gonna check my bag and hella shit if I even bought anything over the counter. I couldn't take it unless it was prescribed. And so I did ended up moving in with a friend, and it was a process to actually get out of that housing situation, because it was like I don't even know what it's called, like a support house, a house that a lot of people stay in, transitional housing, or so on and so forth. And another thing, so they wanted me to stay there for 30 days, but I couldn't work. I couldn't work. For me, when I'm not working, like, that's the issue. Like I said earlier, that's the issue. And I needed to be able to make money so I can live after I get out of the house. You understand? That's what will make sense. So think about that before you go into one of those places, or just try to get as much information as possible if you're ever in that situation and thinking about doing that. From there, I moved in with a friend, and I kind of just wanted to get back into the work environment as soon as possible. I started doing security. I went on a lot of interviews, and my first interview was probably the worst. When I tell you, I think about that interview all the time, and it just makes me cringe. It makes me, it makes me laugh, and it makes me cringe. Um, And so, what else? I started doing security. And security was pretty easy for me. I mean, the place that I got placed at, the location I got placed at, it was a lot of customer service work. It was a front desk assignment, and it was downtown. And so it was very busy. Um, I guess I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to do the job. But over time, just like anything, you learn what to do, you get in the routine of doing it, and it becomes easy. It becomes a habit, it becomes something you do naturally. And so I like working with people, but I get very anxious around people. I get very nervous. I get very skeptical. I'm not sure what people's intentions are. And that's basically just from my own experience. So, with anxiety, and my anxiety formed from me having an encounter with my father. And this happened in 2015. So 2015 was a big year for me. Not big like a good year, was a big bad year, basically. I lost my uncle and my grandfather. Well, my grandfather I had never met, but my uncle, I was close with him growing up. This was my dad's side of the family. I lost both of them within a month. Um, my grandmother's brother also passed away, and my relationship of 4 years ended. My boyfriend cheated and broke up with me. And so, right before all that happened, um, there was an incident with my father, and he is a drug user. He is on the streets. And so, at the time, I'm still not very educated on street drugs besides like stuff that kids do. I wouldn't even say stuff that kids do because kids do a lot of stuff, and I'm not like these regular kids. Like I know about weed, Molly, some pills, and some other stuff. I wouldn't be able to tell you how to work heroin or anything hard or anything soft if that's the case. But I did know that he was on drugs, and so I was avoiding him. That was my fault because I was scared, I was nervous, I was emotional wreck, and I didn't know how to talk to my father. And when he caught me off guard, because that's all that was, um, I was visiting my grandmother, and he basically attacked me while I was in the room. The reason why, I still don't know. Like, we haven't talked about that. I'm not at that place anymore with my father, and I'm very happy because I can actually be around him. I can actually give him a hug and touch him and talk to him, but I still feel like a little girl when I'm around my father. And and that's what prevents me from having those adult talks. And so um he attacked me, and after that um I figured out what anxiety was pretty much. Um, I was scared to go anywhere. I really was. And I ended up moving to Texas after that. That was what was interesting. That was the first time I moved to Texas, and I was living with my aunt. And I felt like that was my last resort. I didn't have anywhere else to go. And every time I get to that point, there's always somewhere else to go. There's always another another blessing that's coming. Like there's ups and there's downs, but just remembering that that up is coming. It's still coming. Just because you're down right now, that up is still coming. And so um, that's, I guess, pretty much how my anxiety formed. and I still struggle with it every day. Literally walking outside, I'll start sweating. To be honest, I'm sweating right now just from talking, and it's just irritating. It's aggravating. It's the most annoying thing ever, and I wish I could turn it off. Okay, so I want to tell you guys the 9 criteria um, for BPD. Okay, so y'all can understand because it's not easy to understand, and most videos don't really describe it correctly. They have a biased opinion, or they feel like because they know one person with BPD, all people are the same, and we're not the same at the end of the day. Like similar we have similar symptoms, I would say. Okay, so here we are, BPD. Mm. And so number one is fear of abandonment. And I've had that fear for probably all of my life. When I went to therapy as a teenager, I was told that I had went to therapy as a child, and I don't remember this therapy as a child. But I went to therapy because of my mom's divorce from my father, and they had a abusive relationship, and so I don't remember much at that time. I was probably like 3 or 4, but I do I do know that my dad was always in and out. And every time he was in, I was happiest person ever, no matter what he did, no matter how he hurt me, no matter if he hurt my mom, no matter if he was getting into it with my other family. Like I was just happy my dad was around. And whenever he left, I felt all alone, basically. And so that just plays into his manipulation because my dad's a Scorpio, and I've learned this from experience dating a Scorpio. They rely heavily on manipulation to get what they want from people, to get what they want in general, and it may not always be a negative um, reasoning behind that manipulation, but it is something that I feel like they need to learn to control because sometimes they do it without realizing. Number two is unstable relationships. And so if you have noticed that your relationships are unstable, that doesn't mean you have BPD, okay? Even abandonment doesn't mean you have BPD. These are just things that I specifically relate to and that fall under the category. There's 9 things, okay? And so my relationships have been unstable, pretty much all of them. All of them. Friendships, family relationships, and boyfriends, and so on. Unclear or shifting self image. And so, my self image is something I've always struggled with. Hmm, just being comfortable being Vanessa, pretty much. Just being comfortable with the way I look and the way I feel and the way my body looks, because my body has been something I've been self-conscious about my whole life. Um, Number 4 is impulsive, self-destructive behaviors. And that is a major one because I'm very impulsive. I told you I moved to Texas twice already, and I moved to Florida. Okay. So I'm very impulsive. I was thinking about moving to Atlanta last week, to be honest. And can I afford it? No. But I will make a way out of no way. That's one thing I do. Okay, I will make a way out of no way to make something happen. Okay, self-destructive meaning like sex, driving crazy, drinking, abusive things like that. Like yeah, self-harm and suicidal behavior. So that's number 5, and I have been suicidal. I have self-harmed, and it's not something I'm proud of. It's something that I had to go through to learn, basically. I wouldn't I wouldn't suggest you do it. I wouldn't recommend you do it because it's not nothing positive. It's not anything. Basically, when I self-harmed, it was to see if I was alive. I felt like I wanted to die, and this was around the time that my cousin was killed. I wanted to die, but I was so angry I felt like I couldn't feel anything, even when I was cutting, because I used to cut. Like I couldn't feel it, and that was what was really it was really weird. But as a teenager, it was something that I guess I felt like was a release, pretty much. Number six is extreme emotional swings, and that's unstable emotion, mood swings. You know, you know. Like literally, I can go from happy to crying my eyes out. Okay, and that is with anybody. I've done it with my mom. I've done it with my boyfriend. I've done it with a lot of things, with a lot of people, and it isn't for anything specifically. It's just feeling sensitive and feeling attacked or feeling like it's personal. Basically, I take everything personal, and I try not to. I try to remind myself that it's not personal. There's nothing I can do about it. They're not talking to me, or they're not, like it doesn't have anything to do with me, basically. And so number seven says chronic feelings of emptiness. And that is pretty much daily. I feel empty. I feel like I want to be happy. I want to be at peace, but I'm the only one that can make that happen. And so as long as I feel empty, then that's what I'll be. I'll be empty, basically. Um, Explosive anger, which is number eight. And that I would say is something that I rarely show. Okay. It's something I have alone most times or in a relationship. And yeah, my relationship, that's when that shows. Just arguing over nothing, over something that I've done, something that I've seen or whatever. And so number nine. Number nine is feeling suspicious or out of touch with reality. This is a different. Okay, I'm reading from a different website because this isn't the one that I originally seen, but their way of saying it is interesting. So basically, it says struggling with paranoia or suspicious thoughts or motives. That goes back to just trusting people, feeling comfortable, feeling safe. I want to look up another one because I feel like that one was really vague, and it's interesting. Now, what I'm trying to think. If you haven't already, check out my first preview video. And so basically, currently, I'm in a low state. I'm in a down. As I say, I feel down. I feel like low and emotional. I've almost cried a few times on here already, if you haven't noticed. But I am, I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my hardest to keep going. I'm trying my hardest to keep loving myself. Okay, Vanessa, I love you. And I didn't tell you that today, and I'm sorry. But you need to love yourself too. You need to remind yourself that you love yourself. No matter how many times you need to do that, you need to show yourself that you love yourself. Take care of yourself. It's something I struggle with daily, simply just because it feels like a lot. Like my boyfriend tells me, it feels so extra. It feels like it's unnecessary. When at the end of the day, it is necessary because you're loving yourself, okay? You can't really love someone else until you love yourself. And that is something that I'm in the process of still, okay? I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and please, like, if you're watching this, like, comment or something. I want to talk to you. I want to know where you are and if you've been listening or if you want to talk to me, if you want to say anything or if you want me to talk about anything, okay? Um I was thinking about recording some football videos because I am a football girl, okay? I love football. My brothers play. I've always wanted to play, but we'll see what we can get some of that footage on here. And we'll see. It is. Oh, I've been talking for a long time. This is interesting. My alarm's gone off about 4 times. And my auntie just found my Instagram, so she's on there. And what was this? Amanda Rogers. I don't know. Okay, so my Instagram, I have an update on my phone. But my Instagram is Vanessa Monai. I don't think you can see that. That's aggravating. It is Vanessa Monai, like my YouTube channel. Hit me on Instagram if you have Instagram, okay? Or something. Or something. Now, it is Halloween, and I wanted to watch some Halloween movies, okay? We are gonna see if my brothers want to watch Halloween movies too. What y'all doing? Y'all want to watch the Halloween movie? Yes, ma'am. Not on that, it's on YouTube. I have one of them. All right. All right. So they're on YouTube, like me, but they don't want to watch Halloween movies. So, what else should we talk about? I did do my hair, and it is a fucking mess. What the fuck is going on over here? Right. Okay. And I do use recreational marijuana. It does help me talk to people. It does help me outside, for sure. Um, I don't even know if this is gonna save. What's up? Where you at? Are you even in California? Like anybody? Are you in the United States? Anyone? The fact that I'm on here looking crazy like this, like I'm really trying to do YouTube. That's how you know I'm really serious. I've been thinking about doing YouTube for about like 5 years. Like 5 years. And here I am. And I'm bored. So I can read if you want to hear that, I guess. Oh, my boyfriend. Boyfriend. So I got a message right when I started this, and it said, 49 more days. And I said, for what? And they said, I must be crazy. Thought December 6th was your birthday. My bad. So that is my birthday. And this human being is so beautiful. They're so beautiful. Okay. So I think we're gonna end this. I don't know. Hopefully we can get more people next time. And if this doesn't save, I'm gonna be like, what? All right, wait. So, closing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check me out at Vanessa Monai. Like and comment anything you want to see, anything you want to know. I will be open and transparent as much as possible on this channel. And I want you to see my life. I want you to see what it's like to live in California, how crazy it is. We're in the hood, we're in the East, okay? This personality you're getting right now, I don't know which one it is, but we're gonna just hopefully we have this personality for the next few days. Um, and also, if you don't have this app, because this is an app you can earn money, check it out. This app is called Sweat Coin, and it rewards you for cash in the app. When I say in the app, this is cash you can spend in the app. You can't cash out yet. They say they have that feature coming, but this is cash you get for walking. Okay, so here's my app. How can I get you guys to see this? Here's my app. There we go. And I walked 1,498 steps since I downloaded it. I currently have $9. Okay. I have $9 because I had one referral. So you can find the link. 9 minutes ago. Find the link on my channel, okay? I guess I can comment with the link if y'all want that. But this is passive income, okay? Don't expect to make $1,000 unless you're walking like 5,000 steps a day. Don't expect to make $1,000 in under a year. I'm gonna be honest. This girl told me she made $1,000 over 2 years, and I mean I feel like it's not bad, but it could be a lot better. Definitely, if you're walking more, helps you be active. It helps motivates you to just be physical. Get some money for walking. All right. So let me go and I'll post that link and hopefully y'all could come back to it. Hopefully y'all could come back to it because I'm gonna post it in the comments. But it is also on my first preview video. And if you watch this, can you go comment on my video? Like for real. Like and comment on my video so I know that you've seen this. So I know that you're here, you're listening. I'm not expecting much, but hopefully there's somebody out there like me. Somebody out there that understands what I'm going through. I low-key feel like I have OCD at moments, but I'm okay with that because I'd rather be clean than dirty, you understand? And I will leave off with this scripture. So it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. And that is Psalms 91, verse 1 through 2. I hope you're blessed by this. I hope you're encouraged by this. I hope you are motivated. Do something you've been wanting to do. Learn something you've been wanting to learn. Um, Help someone you've been wanting to help. Okay? When you feel that urge to reach out, really reach out. That urge is there for a reason, okay? I love you guys and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you maybe later, maybe not. We'll see.